Tonight on CTV News at 6. A heat warning has been extended for parts of the Northeast, with temperatures hovering around 30 degrees or higher. Plus, tourism season is in full swing across our region.
We're seeing a lot of individuals having that love for nature and they want to get outdoors.
We'll have more on what the experts are expecting over the course of the summer. And thanks to a new app, hunting and fishing in the province of Ontario is about to get a lot easier. Officials say the goal is to let fishers and anglers go paperless, something they add is long overdue.
CTV News at 6 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Marina is off. It's been a hot one for much of our broadcast region over this past week, and that weather is likely going to continue. Public Health Sudbury and Districts for Sudbury and Manitoulin says it plans to extend the heat warning now that was first put into place on Monday. Heat warnings are extended when the temperature stays at 29 degrees Celsius or above during the day and 18 or above at night. The province is responding to 2 new wildland fires in northeastern Ontario, including one south of Hearst that's 20 hectares in size. It's prompted a major air and ground response. Officials say hot, dry weather and recent lightning continue to drive new starts. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
New wildland fire is burning in northeastern Ontario. Cochrane 26 is burning south of Hearst, and boaters are being urged to move to shore when water bombers are scooping water.
Yeah, we have Cochrane 26, which was confirmed this afternoon. So there are 2 CL-415 water bombers and a Lead Bird Dog aircraft that are on the scene this afternoon, as well as 3 Ontario Fire Ranger crews. It is located approximately 27 kilometers south of the community of Hearst. There's also no concerns for residents at this time.
Another new fire, Sudbury 13, is a small blaze east of Highway 144, where Chenard says crews are making good progress. Chenard says Timmins 16 is now being held, while Timmins 9 remains active as crews continue to extinguish hotspots.
In July and August, the majority of the fires that we see are lightning caused. So we've had now quite a few consecutive days of hot, dry weather.
Chenard says there are currently 24 active wildland fires in northeastern Ontario, with most burning in the northern part of the region. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
No word yet on what could have started a large fire yesterday in Holtire. CTV News received this video of thick black smoke and flames that could be seen pouring out of a pair of townhomes on Gleason Avenue Thursday. It's also unclear if there were any injuries. Damage appears to have been extensive, with flames breaking through the roof. Another video shows nothing left of the property. We've reached out to the Black River Matheson Fire Department and OPP for more details. A Canada Day boating trip in Muskoka ended in tragedy after a man went overboard. The OPP's Marine Unit responded to a call Wednesday after a person fell into Lake Muskoka near Sandy Bay. Investigators say weather conditions deteriorated and the boat ended up in the treacherous water, struggling to stay afloat. A search got underway the next day, and police recovered the body of a 67-year-old Bracebridge man. We're learning more about a power outage impacting thousands of customers across the province, including many here at home. Hydro One says 18,000 customers are currently without power, including 1,200 in the Mattawa and Nipissing area. A spokesperson says the outages are due to thunderstorms that passed through on Canada Day. Crews are working to repair the extensive damage in Mattawa, including 52 broken poles that need to be replaced. In some cases, the estimated time for restoration keeps changing. Hundreds came out for a solidarity walk in Niagara Falls today to support the Kashechewan First Nation. The event was planned to show support for evacuees from the Northern First Nation who've been staying in that city since January. It comes after a retired city staffer made comments last month about Indigenous people in Niagara Falls, equating them with the homeless. Participants walked to Niagara Falls City Hall today. There were speeches, drumming, and singing. Both Kashechewan Chief Hosea Wesley and Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati were on hand. Diodati has since publicly apologized. Now that the summer is here, travel and tourism have kicked into high gear. Those in the tourism industry across Northern Ontario say more and more visitors are choosing this region. CTV's Angela Gummel reports.
Outdoor experiences appear to be topping the list for travelers, and tourism experts say they're finding those in Northern Ontario.
We're seeing a lot of individuals having that love for nature and they want to get outdoors. So the The leisure market is definitely, a top priority for folks in Northern Ontario.
Promoting tourism in the region, Destination Northern Ontario says tourists spent $3.1 billion last year, with increases for both domestic and international visitors.
In general, for Canadians, they're ready to roam. They want to keep their adventures close to home.
All this bodes well for communities across the Northeast.
Well, it's going to be a wildly unexpected summer here in Sudbury.
Sudbury's manager of tourism and culture says the response has been positive to the rebrand announced a month ago. Tourists are taking notice.
They can't believe how much Sudbury has changed. And we hear that time and time again, how green we are. We offer everything from outdoor adventure to culture to culinary to unique experiences in our attractions.
A sunset over Lake Nipissing, that is an absolute must-have, must-do when you do come and visit us.
Other northern cities are marketing the outdoors as well.
Because we are nestled in two freshwater lakes, there's lots of outdoor activities to be able to enjoy. So that is something that we do push to our market who are interested in coming to visit us in North Bay, is of course taking advantage of all the outdoor amenities.
Plus, the culinary scene is cooking up big business.
When we have visitors coming, whether it's for conferences, meeting, travel media, or sport, they can't believe our local restaurants and the food scene that we have here.
There's just so much here in the north that I think would check so many boxes for folks. It really all depends on your interests.
So whether you're hungry for adventure or just a great meal, Northern Ontario plans on serving it all up this summer. A little something for everyone. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
A new app developed by the provincial government aims to add convenience to the process of purchasing the documents needed to hunt or fish. Still nearly a year away, the Hunt Fish ON app lets anglers and hunters forgo the paper system that some say is outdated. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
It's Free Fishing Week across the province, but an app being developed by the Ontario government will come in handy when you do need a fishing license again. Called Hunt Fish ON, it will be a one-stop shop for the documents needed for hunting and fishing.
For folks across the province to be able to purchase fishing licenses, hunting licenses, game tags, all of those good things online. So it's certainly something that we've heard from folks, that they want more options, more convenience, and we're delivering on it.
For fishing guides like the Sioux's Tyler Dunn, an easier process that's free to download is welcomed with open arms.
It's a little confusing now, even as a resident, say to change your address, buy new licenses, it's not all that easy. And I think an app is definitely the way to go. And even for my non-resident friends and customers, they can do it online now through an app, buy their non-resident licenses, not have to go through the e-license before that was kind of, I wouldn't call it Mickey Mouse, but had its flaws.
Fishing alone brings over $2 billion annually to the province of Ontario, with 1.5 million people taking part, according to the Ministry of Natural Resources. Dunn believes moves like this will bring even more people to the water.
It'd be definitely easier for people to start out that know nothing about it, and new Canadians in particular. Another one right there that will find it a lot easier to buy their license and go out for a day, but it's just a step in the right direction. Whether it works or not, they're trying.
The new app is also expected to simplify things for conservation officers. Rather than having to call or radio in to confirm documents, they'll be able to scan a person's phone where an individualized code will confirm their identity. And for those who prefer the paper style, they won't be left dead in the water.
You can still do it by mail, still do it through Service Ontario. Some of the different private retailers that offer licensing services as well, those will certainly continue.
An exact date for the app's launch isn't known, with Harris saying it should be on all app stores by mid-2027. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A North Bay family got a surprise visitor to their backyard pool recently, and given it happened a few days before Canada Day, you might say their experience was uniquely Canadian. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Trying to get out.
Kurt Blaschek and his wife Abby were awoken suddenly early last Saturday to a loud splash. An unexpected guest was taking a dip in their pool.
We actually had a bear in our yard about a month ago, so I thought maybe it was that, but you could kind of see in the early morning light It was much larger.
A young moose, more than likely confused at her surroundings, had fallen in and was struggling to swim. Kurt says he rushed out to try to entice the animal to the shallow area.
Good job, Kurt.
But once free, the animal took a wrong turn and got stuck in a wooded section of the backyard, where it banged its body against the fence trying to escape. Kurt says the moose then tried a shorter section of fencing behind the pool shed, got turned around, and slipped back into the pool for a second time.
Got herself unstuck, kind of just almost hid behind this net. There's a golf net there, hid behind the net. He rested for a couple hours.
The blast checks called the Ministry of Natural Resources and firefighters assisted in trying to tranquilize and remove the animal. But the young moose didn't give up without a fight, at one point charging towards them.
I had a gazebo right here, like almost a little sniper's nest where they were setting up for the clean shot with the dart gun.
But they were unsuccessful. During the chaos, the animal broke through the fence only to end up in the neighbor's pool, where it got trapped in a solar blanket before exiting through a gate.
Ran a block or two away, said, get your moose under control, because he was out in front of his yard.
The moose ran off to a nearby street before coming to a stop at the ski hill, completely exhausted. The MNR stayed with the animal to monitor its injuries. When they returned the next morning, the moose had already left, likely through a trail behind the ski hill.
After 8 hours in my yard, kind of getting attached to it a little bit, I almost named her.
The blast checks say the whole ordeal lasted about 15 hours. Their pool liner ended up getting damaged and had to be removed. The family has been in touch with their insurance company, but they're relieved the moose was relatively unharmed. And now they have a story that's
very uniquely Canadian, I think, in a lot of ways.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Time for our first check on weather. Here's CTV's Tony Rima from the Weather Center. Tony, our director, and I went outside this afternoon and it didn't feel too bad.
No, but if you go out right now, there's a chance you'll get wet because it is raining in through Sudbury. A severe thunderstorm watch in through Sudbury and North Bay. That should end this evening, and a heat warning still in place for a big swath of the broadcast region, with the exception of Timmins and Wawa, and that should also come to an end this evening. As we take a look at our forecast radar, well, kind of pockets of activity, that's going to die out. Overnight, mainly clear skies, and then tomorrow things aren't going to be too bad. Temperatures also going to come down. I'll have more weather details a little later in the show. Ian.
Thanks, Tony. There's more to come here on CTV News at 6. For now, let's go to a live shot of downtown North Bay. There it is, Worthington Street in particular. This shot coming courtesy of the city, and I know there are a lot of things on tap for the weekend. Hopefully they get some good weather for it, and Tony will have those answers coming up. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Teen Challenge operates in residence centers across Canada, offering 12-month drug and rehabilitation programs. CTV's Elena Everson introduces us to the Sudbury chapter's first ever graduate.
72-year-old Mari Biettarinen is grateful he walked through the Teen Challenge door in Sudbury over 2 years ago. At the time, he was homeless and battling 50 years of addiction.
For the last 10 years, it was crack cocaine, and alcohol. So I had all three substance abuses to labor with.
It was more than 3 years ago when Teen Challenge Canada opened an addiction recovery office in Sudbury at the Samaritan Centre, offering an addiction recovery program for the homeless 18 and older.
It's a one-year treatment program. It's a faith-based treatment program. We get to the trauma that became the addiction. Nobody starts out being an addict.
Mari completed in-residence recovery programs in London and Renfrew.
One thing I liked about the program was definitely I was away from Sudbury. That was very important to me, that I wouldn't get any triggers and traps, to fall back into.
Mari is the oldest graduate of the program in the past 50 years and is no longer homeless.
Now I've been clean and sober for over 27 months, something like that. And what's happening is I still go to church now, and I trust in the Lord with all my heart.
Watson says Mari is a prime example of how it's never too late to ask for help.
You walk through the front doors, and that takes a lot of courage. And when I look at my hope board, that these guys never gave up on themselves, so I would never give up on anybody that is looking for treatment, because everybody's worth it.
There have been 5 graduates of the Addiction Recovery Office of Teen Challenge in Sudbury, with 3 more expecting to reach that milestone this fall. Alan Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Canadians with low to modest incomes will receive the first quarterly payment of a new financial assistance initiative, which replaces the GST-HST credit. Ottawa is making the first regular payment of the Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, or CGEB. The amount people will receive depends on how many children they might have, as well as their marital status. Ottawa says this assistance, which amounts to 25% more than people received under the previous program, will provide relief to Canadians struggling with expenses. The weather right now, well, it's safe to say it's been a scorcher out there as of late, and a couple of Northern Ontarians got a special treat to keep cool earlier this week. Henry and Ganuk, the 2 famous residents at the Cochrane Polar Bear Habitat, got some fun and festive fruit on Wednesday to keep cool under the sweltering sun. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm sure our friends in Cochrane can tell us. The one guy looks like he's even smiling there with the melon in his grips. Nothing better than a hot day and having some fresh fruit to cool off with and have a little fun. Enjoy, fellas. Back now for a check on the current conditions with Tony Rima. How's it looking out there?
Ian, not all that bad. Temperatures above seasonal, and we're still under that heat warning. Watermelon would be good right about now. Let's take a look at your current temperatures. And we're going to start in through Timmins, a mix of sun and cloud, 25 degrees. Moosonee, beautiful sunshine, 22. Cap, 21 degrees. 26 in through Chapleau, a lot of sunshine for Wawa. Sault Ste. Marie, a little bit more cloud cover, 21 degrees. As we head on over to Parry Sound, 25 with a mix of sun and cloud, and now we're going up north. North Bay, 25 degrees, same temperature in through Temiskaming Shores. KL, just 1 degree warmer, and it looks not all that bad come the weekend. And through Sudbury, well, there is some shower activity, but that's going to end into the evening hours. 23 degrees. Espanola, mix of sun and cloud, 25, and beautiful sunshine in through Elliott Lake and Gore Bay. I'll have your 7-day weather forecast later in the show. Ian.
I'm going to have to get an umbrella. Thanks, Tony. Next on CTV News at 6. A couple in the Greater Toronto area are sentenced for their role in the murder of a 12-year-old boy. Then the U.S. ambassador says he's hopeful his country and Canada can come to a trade agreement. A warning to viewers now, as the details in the following story are disturbing. A couple has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a 12-year-old boy they were seeking to adopt. CTV's Mike Walker has the details.
Dozens of people packed a Milton courtroom today for an emotional sentencing hearing for 2 Burlington women who were found guilty of murdering a 12-year-old boy and abusing his younger brother. Becky Hamber and Brandy Cooney sat in the prisoner's box wearing green jumpsuits as they were handed a life sentence for the first-degree murder of a 12-year-old boy in December 2022 in their care, and also sentenced for confining, assaulting, and failing to provide the necessaries of life regarding his younger brother. The couple had sought to adopt the Indigenous brothers who cannot be identified. During the trial, the court heard the boys were denied food, forced to exercise, zip-tied into wetsuits, and also faced physical abuse. When handing down the sentence, Justice Clayton Conlan stated, "The life of one young child has been snuffed out at the hands of these offenders. The life of the younger brother has been altered forever." Before Hamber and Cooney were sentenced, the court heard emotional victim impact statements, including from the surviving brother, who said he felt anxious testifying at the trial. Seeing the videos of what happened to him made him angry and sad, and that he misses his brother, stating, "I will never see him again. I won't be able to talk with him again."
One thing you hope for is that victims of this offense and this crime are able to do the best they can to repair themselves and move forward.
The court also heard from family, community members, a former foster parent, first responders, and a teacher who all spoke highly of the brothers and described how this incident has affected their lives forever.
These boys mattered, that everyone cared about them, that they were children, that they weren't problems.
There was a sense that something was not right, but what came out through the trial really solidified something that was beyond our worst imagination.
The judge gave Cooney and Hamber an opportunity to address the court. Both spoke at length, stating they believe they were wrongfully convicted.
They take no accountability, no remorse. They deserve to be in prison for life.
A first-degree murder conviction carries an automatic life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years. We also learned today that community members are organizing a GoFundMe to help pay for the surviving brothers' education. Mike Walker, CTV News.
There is movement on a proposed new pipeline between Alberta and the federal government. Alongside Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, the Prime Minister says the route would be south through the Trans Mountain Corridor to the Pacific Coast.
Alberta selected a southern route from Bruderheim, Alberta, to a deepwater VLCC-capable port terminal on BC's southwest coast. With the help of our technical advisory group made up of industry experts, we determined that this route offers the fastest, most cost-effective path to expanding Canada's energy exports.
The best route for a new pipeline is one that goes through one that already exists, south through the Trans Mountain Corridor to our Pacific Coast, the gateway to the world's fastest growing markets.
Carney says his government will refer the proposal for the project to the Major Projects Office. He adds the pipeline will be constructed by Trans Mountain Corporation in coordination with the Pembina Pipeline Corporation. Smith says construction could begin as early as September 1st next year. The U.S. ambassador to Canada is hopeful the two countries can put together a trade deal in spite of the U.S. decision not to renew the current North American trade agreement called CUSMA.
Hopefully we can resolve some of the irritants and some of the other issues that are out there, and we can put together a great trade agreement. It would be good for the Canadian people, it would be good for the American people, and we can move forward. But we'll have to wait and see.
Speaking with CTV Ottawa this morning, Ambassador Pete Hoekstra said he never thought it would take this long to reach an agreement, but Hoekstra says he's very optimistic the two countries can work out their differences on trade. Earlier this week, the United States said it was opting against renewing CUSMA in its current form, meaning the trilateral trade deal will now face an annual review. NATO leaders are set to say Canada and Europe are assuming greater responsibility for the alliance's defense. A text approved by NATO ambassadors today also says the alliance, including the U.S., will affirm an ironclad commitment to collective defense under Article 5. It means an attack against one is an attack against all. U.S. President Donald Trump is said to be on board with the text that will be formally introduced at a NATO summit in Ankara next week. International delegates attended a farewell ceremony on Friday for Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran's ruling clerics are preparing several days of mass funeral rites for Khamenei as a public display of devotion to the Islamic Republic. The funeral events are set to begin over the weekend in Tehran, where large-scale processions are planned. Khamenei was killed in February by a joint U.S. and Israeli airstrike. The supreme leader was succeeded by his son, Mojtaba Khamenei. Venezuela is grappling with competing time-sensitive emergencies more than a week after two devastating earthquakes. The search for the missing and the survivors who now have nowhere to live. An overflight above La Guaira city on the north coast of the capital Caracas provides a look at the overwhelming destruction with toppled buildings and crumbled homes. This area is near the epicenter of the quakes that have left more than 2,000 people dead. Rescue efforts continue to find survivors. Earlier today, Venezuela's President Delcy Rodriguez visited one of the survivors in hospital. The security guard was trapped inside the collapsed basement of a shopping plaza, buried under 9 meters of wreckage when the successive 7.2 and 7.5 quakes hit. The price of plane tickets may be high, but one survey suggests we're ready to spend to escape for a holiday. The travel search website Kayak says as of late June, domestic flights were 11% higher than the same time last year. International flights stayed about the same as compared to the same time period. Major North American carriers, including Air Canada, say demand ahead of the peak travel season is strong. That's despite the higher costs and geopolitical instability in parts of the world. The Calgary Stampede officially kicks off today. The parade rolled through downtown Calgary this morning. Crowds filled the streets to celebrate the start of the annual festival. This year marks the 114th anniversary of the Stampede, showcasing Alberta's frontier roots with world-class rodeo competitions, exhibitions, arts and music. Dubbed the greatest outdoor show on earth, the 10-day festival will run until July 12th. And as a former Calgarian, I can tell you it's Yahoo, never yee-haw. There's more news ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Tony Riley.
Well, Ian, a lot of people are going to be celebrating, especially when it comes to the temperatures this weekend, a little lower than what we've experienced. However, we still have that heat warning right across the broadcast region, with the exception of Timmins and Wawa, and that should end this evening. The severe thunderstorm watch is still in place for Sudbury and North Bay. That should also come to an end this evening, which is great news. Right now, we're dealing with this cold front, and that's giving us the unsettled conditions. Some thunderstorms have rolled through Sudbury and going to be in through North Bay, and we also are watching this high pressure system. It is building from the west to the east. As a result, temperatures are going to come down, then they're going to go up next week. Overnight, well, this is what you can expect. Let's start with Sudbury, 16 degrees, a chance of rain, a lot of rain on this board. Sault Ste. Marie, 14, Timmins, 12, Temiskaming Shores, also going to be a wet evening. As we head on over now through Moosonee, well, 6 degrees, just a few clouds. Cap and Hearst, a chance of rain. Wawa, much the same. Gore Bay, still warm overnight, 18, and Parry Sound, 17 degrees, and a chance of rain. Okay, here's your 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury-Nickelville. Clouds clearing, 27 degrees, should be 24 this time of year. It looks great for the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, beautiful sunshine, above seasonal temperatures. Thursday, we start to get overcast conditions, along with some rain, and precipitation is heading our way. Moving on to Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, a 30% chance of rain, but still beautiful sunshine for the most part. A mix of sun and cloud. Monday, next week, temperatures start to go up, especially Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, unsettled conditions arrive, a chance of some rain. Friday looks not too bad, coming in at 26 when it should be 23 degrees this time of year. For Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, beautiful sunshine over the next few days. Then Tuesday, we start to see unsettled conditions, a chance of some rain, 29 degrees next Thursday. Friday, 26 when it should be 24. For Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, take a look at this forecast. 5 days of beautiful sunshine. Things heat up on Tuesday, 31 degrees, drop by just 1 degree after that. And Friday, well, mostly overcast, coming in at 27, normal daytime high this time of year, 24. And finally, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing tomorrow. Well, clouds are going to clear, 26 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. A little warmer on Sunday. Monday, as we start the work week, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures going up. Thursday, and we can expect a little bit more of unsettled conditions, a chance of rain, overcast conditions, and Friday, more precipitation, coming in at 27 when it should be 25 degrees as a daytime high. And this picture was sent to us by Christine Adamson. Christine and Roma were walking around Gillies Lake in Timmins and found these 11 ducklings. That's a great picture. Thank you, Roma and Christine. By the way, you can send your weather pictures into us by going to weather.pictures@bellmedia.ca. And that's your 7-day weather forecast. We're back right after this commercial break.
Die-hard Canadian soccer fans are getting on planes to Houston today, where the team's next World Cup game will be played tomorrow. It's a David and Goliath matchup. Canada, ranked 30th, is taking on Morocco, which is ranked 6th. But the team's been defying odds all tournament. CTV's Heather Wright has more from Houston.
Well, we are starting to see more Canadian fans show up here in Houston, as we are now less than 24 hours away from Canada versus Morocco.
This is uncharted territory for Canada's men's soccer team. They have never made it this far in the World Cup, but despite the daunting task ahead, the team says they are calm and relaxed.
We wanted to make sure that we got to the point in the tournament where we were going to get to play, an actual Goliath. And that's what this Moroccan team is. So it's about going out there, enjoying it, understanding that the whole world's going to be watching. So let's go out there and put our best foot forward.
Canada faced Morocco 4 years ago in Qatar, the final match of the group stage. They lost 2-1 and didn't advance to the knockout round, but the performance of the Canadians made an impression on Morocco.
It was a hard game, very good team.
a very fit team also. I think that we started very well. I think even it was maybe one of the hardest game in the group stage.
Coach Jesse Marsh says his team is ready for what will be their toughest match by far in this tournament against a team that is at the top of their game.
The confidence that the team had, the swagger they played with, like, we know we're in for a massive challenge against a really talented team.
Alistair Johnson said today the team is focused on playing the game, not the occasion. And the team is preparing for what is going to be a loud stadium with a capacity of nearly 69,000 fans. Heather Wright, CTV News, Houston.
And a reminder, you can watch tomorrow's huge match for Canada right here on CTV Northern Ontario, TSN and Crave, starting at 1 o'clock. And today is the final round of 32 with 3 massive contests on tap. Australia faced Egypt earlier this afternoon, and Egypt made history, beating the Aussies 4-2 in a shootout to reach the last 16. It comes after they ended 120 minutes of playing time with a 1-1 tie. So Egypt moves on. Right now, Argentina, led by Lionel Messi, are taking on an upstart Cabo Verde. That game is underway right now over on TSN, and at last check, Argentina is leading 1-0 as they approach the halfway point. And tonight at 9:30, you can watch Colombia take on Ghana again over on TSN. While the country waits for that historic Canada game tomorrow against Morocco, celebrations are already kicking off in Nova Scotia, especially Port Williams, the hometown of Team Canada's Jacob Schaffelberg. CTV's Emma Convey has more from Port Williams.
Jacob Schaffelberg's grandparents start every game the same way, sitting in these 2 armchairs at their home in Port Williams, Nova Scotia.
Sometimes I'll sit a little closer, but because I don't want to miss anything.
Having been to all his games in Nova Scotia growing up, even a few in Toronto, watching him play in the World Cup fills them with pride.
It's just amazing that he is where he is. He's good. He's really good.
We always sort of think of him as being both like this and crying, not wanting to, nervous about going out onto the field and play. But he's gotten over that, that's for sure.
The whole community is rallying behind him and Team Canada.
Having somebody from Nova Scotia on the Canadian team, and like with how far they've went, it's incredible.
Unbelievable. We're so excited for them. Epic history making, and to know, that Jacob is a part of that is just phenomenal, and just a great family.
It's bringing the whole world back together. It's showing that our whole nation is colorful. We are from all over the world, and we are uniting to just cheer for our nation's soccer team.
Those cheers will be loud at the Port Pub in Schaffelberg's hometown.
This is our first FIFA game that we're showing in the tap room. A lot of people in the community want to support them.
They're hoping for a big turnout.
Family event for everybody in the community. They can come in and have a pint and something to eat, or they can have water and watch it outside. It's for everybody, and everybody's welcome to come.
Marvin and Barbara Messam plan to attend this viewing party before the game, but by 2 p.m. they'll be back in their chairs.
I've got so many older friends that have never, ever watched my Probus group, everybody out there that watch soccer now. It's just...
Even so many little old ladies.
Pull the Nova Scotians together.
Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Some oysters from the East Coast are being recalled over salmonella concerns. Oysters from a Prince Edward Island-based company are being recalled due to possible shellfish contamination. The recall of products from Five Star Shellfish was triggered by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for products that were distributed in Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec. The agency is advising Canadians not to consume, use, sell, or distribute the recalled products. The European Food Safety Authority is reporting a salmonella outbreak involving 106 cases in 14 countries. The outbreak is linked to flavored noodles. The cases were first reported last November. At least 49 people needed to be hospitalized. The infections are linked to a producer in Ukraine. The introduction of generic Ozempic or semaglutide injections in Canada was expected to prompt a flood of new patients for the generic medications. However, a new move by the maker of Ozempic may change that. CTV's Pauline Chan has details.
Richard Hall has type 2 diabetes and began taking Ozempic 2.5 years ago for glucose stability.
Immediately, there was a change in my readings, my glucose readings.
It is truly a profound effect that you see in some. There are averages that you expect, somewhere between 10 and 15% on average body weight loss.
But it's not just a benefit in weight loss that doctors are noting.
Since its launch, it's been my pleasure to see benefits for the heart, benefits for the kidney, new benefits for the liver. And so that means that, yes, we're managing diabetes, we're managing weight.
But the cost, covered under Hall's wife's benefits, have been prohibitive for some in the past.
Somewhere between about $250 and $350 per month. But the price of both the brand name Ozempic and the generics is now about $80 per month. Since the generics were priced that way, and Novo Nordisk, through its support program, is now matching it for the first time that I've seen any product do that.
Which means that if the price for the brand name drug is now the same as the generic prices, there may be no need for patients like Hall to consider taking generics. And Dr. Alex Abitbol says some private insurance may not have added the generic semaglutides to their formularies yet, prompting even slower adoption of generics. Ozempic maker Novo Nordisk has set up a webpage for Canadians to register for the savings card.
I don't know what the ODB situation will be in a year and a half when I turn 65. I haven't looked that far to see if it is covered.
And Dr. Abitbol says there are even more potent semaglutides on the horizon.
You should talk to your family physician, go through the benefits, the risks, make sure you carefully consider your own individual scenario.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
On a warm day, the interior temperature of a vehicle can rise to dangerous levels, even with a short period of time. According to the Hospital for Sick Children, one child dies in Canada in a hot car every year, and it's something that's easily preventable. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
No parent thinks they would forget their child in a hot car, but the unfortunate truth is it can happen to anyone.
Research has shown that stress, sleep deprivation, and changes in routine can affect our memory and make people more forgetful.
Those are conditions many parents and caregivers know all too well. While the risk of heat stroke increases in warmer weather, it doesn't take a heat wave to create dangerous conditions.
We wanted to see on a hot day just how hot it gets inside a vehicle.
We decided to place this thermometer, which now reads 21 degrees Celsius, inside the car for 3 hours.
Let's see how hot it gets.
After 3 hours, the temperature reached 61 degrees Celsius, creating potentially dangerous and life-threatening conditions. That kind of temperature could prove fatal for a child.
Children's bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than adults. It's never safe to leave a child unattended in a vehicle, even if you're parked in the shade or you've cracked a window.
NoHeatstroke.org reports the deaths have included children from 5-day-old babies to 14-year-old kids. In most cases, parents accidentally left their child in the car. Because of this, it's best to make it routine to check the back seat every time you drive.
It helps to create a visual reminder by putting your child's hat, jacket, or bag up front next to you. You can also create a habit of placing your own things in the back, like your phone or your bag, so you're forced to check it when you exit the vehicle.
Simple changes in your daily routine could save a life. It's also recommended to always keep your vehicle locked so children can't gain access to it on their own. The Toronto Humane Society has also released safety warnings to look before you lock so pets aren't accidentally left in a hot car.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canadian country star and London native Tommy Hunter has died.
Someday I'll sit down and write all that's gone by in my life and the things I tried to do both right and wrong.
According to his business manager, Hunter died of natural causes yesterday. He was best known for hosting the music series The Tommy Hunter Show from 1965 to 1992. Hunter was a 3-time Juno Award winner and 1-time Gemini Award recipient. He was also inducted into the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame and a member of the Order of Canada. Hunter was 89. Today's the day Swifties have been waiting for. Taylor and Travis are getting married. As many as 1,000 guests, many of them VIPs, will attend the elaborate celebration at Madison Square Garden. Trucks and crews have been going in and out of the venue for days, setting up tents and bringing in crates of decorations and supplies. Not many details have been released about the guest list, performers, and who will officiate the ceremony. Guests were reportedly told to dress in black tie and no cell phones will be allowed. Whether or not a certain high-profile couple is getting married at Madison Square Garden this weekend, they've just made a big impact in New York and beyond. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Report.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reportedly have donated $26 million to food banks and other charities, largely in cities they've called home: Kansas City, Nashville, and New York. 26, of course, is Taylor's lucky number times 2. Tracee Ellis Ross is making her Broadway debut in a one-person show. The Golden Globe-winning actress is set to perform in Every Brilliant Thing beginning Tuesday through August 9th. She'll succeed Mariska Hargitay as the nameless protagonist in the solo show. She, in turn, took over for Daniel Radcliffe, who began the play's run this spring. Minions and Monsters is getting a running start on the holiday weekend. Deadline reports the animated adventure made more than $14 million on its opening day Wednesday. Universal traditionally releases the Minions and Despicable Me movies just ahead of July 4th, and all 6 previous films in the franchise have opened at number 1. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Shares in waste management company GFL Environmental are up today as the Canadian company considers a possible sale. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez reports.
Bloomberg's reporting buyout firms are interested in taking GFL private. GFL handles industrial, commercial, and residential waste. It had operated out of Vaughan in Ontario, but announced earlier this year it was moving its main office to Miami. GFL is a $14 billion company which operates in both Canada and the U.S. GFL declined to comment on the story. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 70.41. West Texas Intermediate is up to 68.78. Western Canadian Select is up to 53.27. And the TSX gained 308 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. The gold up 52.31, closing the day at 41.7523 U.S. an ounce. Silver up $1.40 to end the day at 62.35. Copper down just a penny and nickel down 8 cents, ending the day at 7.32 U.S. a pound. Tony's back now for one last look at the weather.
Thanks for that, Ian. Saturday looks pretty good. A little cooler out there. Let's start our forecast with Sudbury. 27 degrees, mostly sunny for Timmins. Plenty of sunshine. 26, 27, and a 30% chance of rain in through Sault Ste. Marie. As we head on over now to North Bay, well, mostly sunny conditions, 26 degrees. With the Humidex, it'll feel more like 30 Celsius. In through Parry Sound, mostly cloudy, 29, should be about 24 this time of year. And for Temiskaming Shores, 27 degrees and lots of sunshine. Ian.
Thanks, Tony. Canadian superstar Celine Dion has released a new song as she prepares to return to the stage. The track, titled Bonjour, Pardon, Merci, comes months after the announcement that she will begin a residency in Paris starting September 12th. That's where she'll perform 16 shows. Dion's last tour was postponed in 2020 because of the pandemic. She was later diagnosed with a rare condition known as stiff person syndrome. Finally tonight, Ronaldo or Lionel Messi have nothing to worry about, but some robotic soccer players are showing off some nifty skills during the World Cup. The autonomous machines are competing in South Korea in what's called the Robo Cup. They've been programmed by 300 teams of engineers, students, and researchers from 45 countries. All are taking part in the world's largest robotics competition, but the soccer machines aren't a match for humans yet, with lots of falls on the pitch. Still, they just get back up and start playing again. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Friday night. I'm off this evening, but stay tuned for 11:30. Amanda Hicks will be in the chair filling in for me. Also, CTV Northern Ontario will have the big Canada game tomorrow afternoon as our country gets set for more soccer history. Hopefully, go Canada, go. Until then, we hope you have a happy, healthy, and safe weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you Monday. Good night.